Scanning for audio.
Welcome to a Tin Dog podcast. Now, a few weeks ago, I made a small joke. It wasn't a great joke, but it was one that, kind of got into my head. It was more of a comment, really. It was that Torchwood, the organisation, was unit for the post-Brexit UK. As we lumber and lurch towards the monumental catastrophe that is Brexit, and there's absolutely no way of running away from the cliff edge, despite the fact that, many of us sob that we didn't try harder to persuade others every single night. Sorry, you know what? If you don't like my politics, I stopped caring some time ago, to be honest. So, anyway, I made this joke about Torchwood being our last best hope, the last vestiges of empire. God, if somebody else compares Brexit to the war, I swear I will show them what war is. It's not. It's a political decision made by idiots who weren't there. Oh, we survived the Blitz. The Blitz was an attack. This is self-inflicted. This is pointless. Sorry. Calm down. It's just, we're 8 weeks away from getting back on target, back on track. So I make this gag about Torchwood and Brexit, and because it's in my head, I put off listening to the new Torchwood, which is ridiculous. It's a story. That's all it is. So, Gods Amongst Us Part 1, yet another 4-story set. It's, the post Children of Earth Miracle Day Torchwood. The stories I don't like to talk about. But it's set back in Cardiff, so I can quite nicely believe in it. It follows on from the last absolutely superb stories. You've now got Orr, you've now got the replacement Gwen. Yes, I know she's busy, but you've now got, the person who was the bringer, the harbinger, working for Torchwood. You've got Yvonne Hartman in there, and you've got Colin, and you've got, it's just so nice. But really, you haven't got, apart from PC Andy, not many of the original cast. And yet, it still feels real. Colchester Price. You know what? Just a superb character. Mr. Colchester is just great. And something happened to him at the end of the last series that meant that he might or may not be in this series. But he is. He's not exactly the ghost of the feast, but he's influencing and infecting every single story, which is pretty good going considering what happened at the end of the last series. He's a superb character, well thought out, and for me, a nice example of, the evolution of the gay character in modern drama. There you are. Doesn't sound punchy, doesn't sound exciting, but it is honest and it is true. It's a wonderful development. It's a sort of thing we don't see, and we definitely don't see it in action series at all. Again, Torchwood just being better than everything else when it doesn't really need to be. It could quite easily just be some sort of adventure series, but it doesn't have to be. And of course, the shining star of the whole box set, as always, Tracy Ann Oberman, is Yvonne Hartman version 2.0. Think Evil Universe Yvonne. But of course, Yvonne was already quite evil to begin with, so where you draw the line in Torchwood, it's up to you. It's not up to me. 4 stories. But because I was being a misery guts about the state of the world, I just wasn't in the mood for listening. But you know what? I'll do it. For you. Of course I will. I press play and instantly regret messing about and not listening. Story number 1. Future Pain by James Goss. You know what? You see James Goss's name on something, you instantly just go, yeah, great story. What am I talking about? Idiot. Synopsis. Torchwood pick up the pieces and move on. After all, there's a whole new set of alien threats to deal with. While Yvonne Hartman is asserting her authority as the new leader of Torchwood, Jack Harkness is hunting an alien god in the sewers. But what is he really hiding from? You see, nice synopsis that doesn't give up too much away. The big, gloopy monster and a certain, well, celebration of somebody's life, let's put it that way, to attend is always on the cards. People are going to funerals. There's a character in this who's the ultimate empath. She/he/it/they. Yes, it's they, isn't it? That's the word that they use in the program. They are just glorious. It's such a Torchwood character and works so much better on audio than it would have on TV. It's like a chameleon but with emotions, which is nice because at the moment you've got two shape-changing characters running in different dramas. A brilliant introduction, and I don't know why I was so resistant. Yes, I do. I covered it at the beginning. 6.2. The Man Who Destroyed Torchwood by Guy Adams. This has a bit more of an experimental narrative feel to it. If this was one of the individual releases of Torchwood, your mind would be kind of blown. It would be like watching a DVD on shuffle, which has been done in the individual releases, and trust me, they worked. Here, because it's in a box set, you just kind of stick with it. Admittedly, what it makes up for in narrative, it loses in a bit of ongoing storyline, but you know what, you just don't care. It works as an experimental piece, not so much in the long-term story arc. That's fine. It's an emotional breather because things are getting so much worse. There are characters who are just terrifying. Look, here's the synopsis for that. Brent Hayden. To some, he's a darling of alt-right. To other, he's a far-left crusader. A lot of people watch his videos, hang off his every word. Crisis, actors, conspiracy, black ops. Brent knows you deserve the truth. And Brent comes from Cardiff because he's going to expose Torchwood. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Yeah, I think that gives enough away for you to make up your own minds about what this particular narrative is going to be like. Bringing us to story number 3, See No Evil by John Dorney. Now, for those of you who've been hanging around audio adventures for a while, and let's face it, Big Finish has been giving us some pretty good stuff for a long time now. Well, See No Evil gives us the storyline where everyone is blind. There you go. And on audio, it's a nice little stable. And you go, yeah, it's all been done before. But you know what? Every time you tell a story that's been done before, you can surprise your audience by giving it to us in a slightly new way. That is what we've got here. We are presenting with a story that we've seen time and time again. Oh, no one can see. We have to describe everything that's going on. Where are you? What's going on? Let's sort the whole thing out. But you've got Yvonne Hartman. You've got Andy's storyline going on, which is great. You've got the development of other stuff going on. And, well, here's the synopsis. There's a hunter out there in the darkness with no escape. The screaming getting louder. Jack Harkness and Yvonne each set out to save the city in their own ways. And that story ends with one of my all-time favourite punch the air moments. Literally, I was driving along the motorway towards Manchester and I was stuck in traffic and I was listening to this audio. And when episode 3 ended, I actually physically punched the air and shouted yay to an empty car and a motorway full of other cars because it was just brilliant. It was like hundreds of episodes of Buffy crammed into one where you just go, oh, it's so cool. Because something happens that just made me smile for the entire meeting that I was at in Manchester. Bringing us up to the last one, which is Night Watch by Tim Foley. This one has more of a melancholy feel. Don't let that fool you, it's hardly got no teeth. You see, one of the characters is finally showing their hand. And you've kind of known who they were from episode 1. If you were paying attention. And even if you weren't by this point, you really know who they are. And boy, oh boy, are you scared. The black sun has come through the rift. When it visits, sleep comes with it. Or is its guardian, appointed to watch over the city while it slumbers. What will they find as they wander the streets? Who are the lost souls trapped with their demons? Who are the ones fighting even sleep? Who are the ones broken, meeting their dreams? You know what? It's the darkest of all of the tales, and yet it has such tremendous hope running through it. You can picture the scenes, the city, the soundscape is glorious, and awe comes to the fore. In fact, everyone gives 110%, a mathematical impossibility that is possible in Torchwood. So, distract yourself from the current terrible things that are going on in the world, both here and in America, and in fact everywhere if you see the current news about Russia and Europe, with this, the everyday story of terrifying mass deaths across the world, and gods coming to devour us all from Cardiff in Torchwood. I'll play you the trailer and let you decide for yourself whether you want to hear this, because Volume 2 is coming our way very, very soon. So until then, be seeing you.
Welcome to Torchwood. We can't promise we'll keep you alive, but we can guarantee you a fun time.
Coming soon from Big Finish Productions, Torchwood, God Among Us, Volume 1.
I'm the mayor of Cardiff. I'm the leader of the alien race who run this city. I've a private army. Why would I want to be protected by you?
I'm Torchwood.
We're supposed to keep the world safe. We've not even paid the water bill.
Where will you run? Somewhere in Cardiff. God walks. God waits.
What are you? Are you God?
This is going to sound silly, but has everyone else just gone blind?
We like the night. We are pain. We are hurt.
We are all afraid of the dark.
Big Finish. We love stories.
That was a little bit of fun. No, absolutely not. It was a little bit, yeah.
That was the Doctor Who Tin Dog Podcast, available on iTunes, YouTube, Twitter, RSS, Vimeo, and across the internet. Doctor Who and its associated properties are all copyright and trademark of the BBC. No infringement is intended. Why not become a supporter by visiting patreon.com/tindog. Contact the show on tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.